So how do we use choosing strengths? Well, I'm going to show you a few ideas. We'll have a play, and hopefully these ideas will inspire you for how you might want to use the cards. So we'll just begin by taking the cards out of the box, of course, and spreading them out. And you might want to spread them out, on a table, on the floor, in some way, spreading them out so that the people who are using the cards, it could be an individual that a facilitator is working with, or a counsellor, or it could be a group of people who are working with the cards. So we spread them out, and then you can ask a question, and there are just an infinite number of questions that you might ask. So I'm just going to give you a few examples. For example, you might say to people, okay, pick a card that catches your eye for some reason. Here you are, you're here today in this group or in this particular one-on-one session. Pick a card that says something to you, that sparks something for you today. And so, for example, a person might choose this one, which says, I can choose to be curious. And you can then have a conversation with that person. Why did you choose that card? Is it something about the illustration? Is it something about the word? And so, for example, a person might say, well, curious, I'm curious about what we might do here today, or I'm curious about what we might discover today. Or, for example, someone may pick up a card, and this one, for example, I can choose to be clear. And the person may say, well, I've chosen this one because I'm here today to try and become clear about something. So that question, choose a card that appeals to you for some reason. You could also ask, choose a card that says something to you about what you'd like to get out of this session today. And then that gives you an opportunity to have a conversation with them. Or, if it's a group, you might say to the whole group, okay, choose a card and use that card to introduce yourself to everybody. So, for example, I might pick this card which says I can choose to be caring. And I might share with the person next to me, well, I chose this card because I'm thinking about, caring for my mother who's in hospital at the moment. So it's a way of introducing ourselves by using the cards. And then there's lots of ways that you can take that conversation deeper, and you can ask a question such as, pick a card that is a quality you think you have. So pick a card that is a strength you feel you already have in your life. And a person might say, well, I can choose to be helpful. And they might say, there are ways that I'm often helpful. Or if you're with a group of people who perhaps, or with someone who may not be able to identify a strength for themselves, especially if their self-esteem is a little low, you might ask them, well, think of someone in your life who really admires you. Someone who you have a good relationship with, or that you've had a good relationship with in the past. What would they say were one of your strengths?